Hi guys, welcome to this session in Microsoft Access. In this module, I want to show you how you can create a sales table which will link two other tables together. So at the moment, I've just got two tables in this database, one called customers, which is just listing a few customers, and one called courses. Now, the link at the moment, or the relationship at the moment between these two tables is like this. If I go into database and relationships, so one customer can have many courses. So that would work, and my own database is a bit like that. Don't actually need a sort of bookings table, but I'm going to do a bookings table just to show you how you can set that up. So let's close this down and create a new table. So create table design, I'm going to go for, and the primary key is going to be booking ID, and that'll be an auto number field. So if I just type the letter A, it will do that for me. And I also want that to be the primary key. So that's going to be a unique number. Now, what I do need in this table is the customer ID and the course ID fields. So I'll just do those straight away. Customer ID, that's going to be a number field. So I'm just pressing N for number. And course ID is going to be exactly the same. Course ID number. So these are what are called foreign fields when you've got the same name field in a different table. Now I want the booking date, which is going to be a date time field. And on the date time field, I need to use an input mask, which will restrict what type of dates people can add. But before I can do that, I need to save this table. So I'm going to click on the disk at the top there and qualify it with TBL bookings. So I'll call it TBL bookings, like so. Then I can do the input mask. So click on that short date format, which is going to be like that. That's what I want. So I'll just go finish. I don't need to go next. Next would be if I want to change the underscore there to something else, but I don't. Finish. That's the date of booking. And quantity would be how many people. That's just going to be, it can be a text field. I'll put it to number because I can then do a calculation field. So quantity and then price, which is going to be a currency field. Not too, so that's just going to be currency. So quantity times price. So now I can do the actual booking here. So that would be that times that. This is a calculated field. So I'll call this booking total. And while you're at table design level, you can change all this sort of afterwards. So this wants to be a calculated field. Calculated. Now this opens up the expression builder. Is going to be quantity times price. So what I want here is quantity times price. So it's going to be equals in square brackets QTY close square brackets times price in square brackets, like so. Quantity times price. Okay. And then that gives you the formula down the bottom there. So we've got the date, the price, the quantity of people on the course, and we can have a lookup to do the courses. So where we've got customer ID, I want to look up for the customers table. So same process as before. Combo box. This is going to be a table and query. So what is the table I want to look at? I want to look at customers. That one. I want to look at two columns of it. And I need to set the column widths to 2 centimeters and change automatic, where it says automatic there, to possibly 5 centimeters, so you can see the actual lookup. So that's that one. And I need to do it as well for courses. Lookup, click on that line, combo combo box, and this is going to be the courses table. And this is going to be number of columns on here is going to be 2 as well, and I'll do the same actually. 2 centimeters is usually standard. 2 centimeters and 5 centimeters where it says automatic. Get rid of that. 5. And then let's save that and have a look, see what we've got. So now we've got customer ID. Should be able to drop that down. See the customers, courses. I can see the courses. Okay, now we've got an issue there. So I need 3 columns. 3 columns. So go back into that. So course should be 3 columns. Save that. Have a look. Course. There we go. I can see that. So it's just going to put whatever it is in there. And then the date, there's the input mask for the date, and you've got the quantity and price, and then the calculation field there. So if I close that down and then go back to database tools and relationship, I need to drag on that bookings table. So now this bookings table is going to be a different link to this. Now I'm going to break that link. Yes. Now that's going to affect some of these queries that I did before, but that was just showing you how they worked. I'm not too fussed about that. So now the bookings table is going to be the main table. So I need to do the links into this from customers. So one customer can have many bookings. It's picking up one to many. If I tick that and click create, it's letting me do that. So one customer can have multiple bookings, and then one course can be booked many times. So course ID to course ID, one to many, create. So that's now the new link. Saving that, closing this down. So what I should now do is create a form based on this bookings. So to create a form, you click on create form. I'll just use this one and I can edit it later on. So that's just coming up with the bookings table. If I close that one down, don't save it. If I click on customers and create a form, let's see what that does. So customers, create a form. So that's giving me the bookings ID per customer. So the bookings table is in there, and in there I have the drop down list for a course. So I can select that and it just gives me course ID 1, and I'm not really seeing what that is. So I don't want that. No. If I click on the bookings table and then create form, it will give me the form, and I will be in what's called layout view, where you can just adjust the whole of these like that en masse, like so. Or you can go view, and then that's what it's going to look like. So at the moment, that's all we've got. If I click on, so we've got customer 1, don't know who that is. We've got course ID, I've got to click there to see that, don't like that either, and then I've got this information. So what I should really do is not save this, don't save that, create myself a query where I can pull all those fields into one place and then generate a form based on that. So let's have a look at doing that. So create query in design, and then you just bring all 3 tables in. It should pick up the links. The link should be there, like so. So what I want is, so I've got, it's picking up that link there as well. I'm going to break that. Don't want that. So if I do core customer ID first from that table, and then customer name, if I just show you that, if I run that, it actually shows you the customer, whatever the customer ID is. Likewise, if I then do course ID from there, and then course from here, so you've got course ID, and then customer ID, then course, that one. If I run that again, it will show you that information as well. Course ID, customer ID. And then the rest of it can be brought in from here. So you've got booking date, quantity, price, and booking total, like so. And if I run that, most of that is blank, I haven't filled it in. Now if I save this query, yes, I'll call it QRY bookings. And now if I create a form based on that, so that would be my main input form. Obviously you spend a lot more time making these look nice rather than doing what I'm doing here, just very quickly adjusting things. So there's my form. So at the moment I didn't do any prices for the first couple of things that I did in this database, but I'm going to do that in a minute. I'll save this form. I'll save it as FRM QRY bookings, FRM. Okay, and then I'm going to get into design and change this. So from here you're going into form design, and you're changing the title just needs to say bookings really. And you can also change the order of things in here as well, but I'll just save that and then have a look at this. So that's the first course. So if I didn't have a booking ID or booking date, so I'll put today's date in there, which is control semicolon. I'll say there were 2 people and the price was £200. So that should automatically calculate that as 400, which it does do. So if I now do a new booking, which is a new record, I've got customer ID. I can select a customer, Bob, puts him in there, course that Bob wants. So I'll say access, puts it in there. Date, I'll do today as well. And then let's say there were 6 of them at £200 each, and that'll work that out. So now this is working how I want it to work, my booking ID. Build this form up later on with buttons and things like that that automatically do stuff. If I close this down, go to the bookings table, all that information is now going into this table. It's feeding into this table because we've created the relationships and we've got it all in one place. But the form itself is a little bit tidier than the table. Totally up to you how you do it, but that's basically how you can create a bookings table, link it in with your other tables, and then base a form on a query where you've got all 3 tables in this example in the query, and then you can just manipulate how your form looks. But now you can basically book people in and it feeds into the tables. So that's all I want to talk about in this little video. So hopefully that was of use. Thank you for your time, and I'll catch you on the next one.